You're listening to Rec Room Radio, and I'm your host, Rectum. Thank you for coming. Today we're going to be talking about the movie Superhost. Now, Superhost is another Shudder original movie made in 2021. As you might have noticed, I recently renewed my subscription to Shudder, and I'm milking it for all it's worth. So, Superhost is about travel vloggers who stay at Airbnbs and they rate them. But this one has a peculiar woman who owns it, and she's getting stranger as the movie goes on. I'm starting to notice a pattern with social media influencers being easy targets for modern horror movies. I don't know, maybe they're the only ones putting themselves out there these days. Who knows, but they just seem like easy pickings. So this movie was only okay in my opinion. With these limited cast movies, it's starting to seem to me like they have to make the heroes as hateable as possible to give them some sort of redemption arc by the end of the movie, as opposed to making the heroes really likable and having a really hateable character standing next to them the whole time. They have to kind of combine them and turn them into two different people as the movie goes on, but I just don't feel like these heroes had that sort of redemption arc by the end of the movie. They kind of just were themselves throughout. Now, the heroes were a couple. The woman was absolutely insufferable, like the entirety of the movie, and the man was just kind of plain and had nothing significant going on with him. The most interesting character was the antagonist, in my opinion. She feels like she would have been better in a better movie, to be perfectly honest. This movie didn't really scratch any of my horror itches. It wasn't really suspenseful, it wasn't scary. There wasn't a real mystery to solve, and there wasn't a stack of characters for the killer to take out for a proper bloodbath. Maybe it should have been a party crew that was at the Airbnb. The house was big enough. Even that would have been a better setting, in my opinion. I think it tried to build suspense by having you wonder just how crazy the antagonist is, but if you look at the cover art, it literally shows you the extent of her personality and even has blood on her face. So you know how far she's willing to go and going to go. I think it tried to replicate what the movie Creep did so well and didn't quite hit the mark. Creep was a really good movie, by the way, on Netflix. I'll probably have to review that at some point too. There was a subplot about how the main characters had one particular video where they made the host look terrible, and that was their best video, and they were considering doing that to the main host. But that plot never plays through hard enough, and they don't really go through with it. I almost wish they had. It seems like the motivations for everyone were quite lackluster without it. I'm not trying to spoil the movie in case anyone is interested in seeing it, but everything kind of just unfolds the way you'd expect them to, and any holes in your experience are kind of just filled with meh. I'm starting to feel like I'm picking on this movie when in reality it was okay. I don't think those 90 minutes of my life were wasted, but they might have been on a second viewing. I feel like I'm running out of things to say about this movie, but like I said, everything kind of just played out the way you'd expect things to play out in this type of movie, and it just was absolutely hard to empathize with anything going on with anybody in the movie, to be perfectly honest. Like I said, the main characters weren't very likable. The antagonist was more likable than they were. It gets to the point where you're rooting for the antagonist, especially where the protagonists were just making such bad decisions, like over and over again, and they weren't very kind with each other. One of them, it seemed like the man was more focused on the relationship, whereas the woman was more focused on their travel vlog, which was another failing vlog, like we were talking about. They were down and out influencers. They weren't like the most successful ones, so they had to do something extra special to try and make this episode better. But like I said before, they didn't actually do anything that made the episode better. They found a unique host, and they decided that they weren't going to, I don't know, be mean about her. I guess that's that redemption arc that we were talking about. But everything still kind of played out as if they had, and I don't know. It seemed like they were trying to do something and something else, and something got messed up in the editing room. I'm not sure. And like I said, I feel like it was a good premise for a movie. I feel like some things could have been done to make it better. I'm not saying I know exactly what those things are that would make them better. I'm no director or producer. I just watch the movies and I tell you if I like them or not. Don't get me wrong, I've seen some stinkers in my time, and this was not one of them. And yes, that is an official term for bad movies, is stinkers. Yeah, this movie definitely wasn't a stinker, and I just need it known that this movie was okay. And there are a lot of people online that I was looking saying that they really liked this movie, and I can see the appeal. It just didn't appeal to me because, I don't know, it just seemed a little too by the numbers for me. And the bad decisions made by the heroes could have been forgiven if the movie had been fun or had been funny. And it just wasn't really either of those. It was taking itself a bit too seriously to be either of those. And I don't think it played off too well in that department. I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you were interested in seeing this movie or currently interested in seeing this movie, you're gonna enjoy the 90 minutes. If you're anything like me, you're gonna enjoy what you sat through, but nothing is particularly going to wow you about it. And if you have something else on your watch list that you might be watching that's about the same length of time that you might be considered watching more, maybe you should watch that and wait on this one a little bit. But sure, yeah, go ahead, give it a watch. It's also on AMC Plus, or I think you can rent it on Amazon for like $3.50 or $4 or something like that. You'll enjoy it. Won't be wowed, but that's fine. Not every single movie's gonna wow you. Not every single movie needs to be perfect. Movies are meant to be fun. And I had some fun watching this. I'm not gonna lie. It was okay. There were parts about it I liked. I just don't feel like I liked enough of it to consider a rewatch. And that's fine too. That happens. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this review of the movie Superhost. If you enjoyed it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with all your friends. I'm going to try releasing 2 videos a week for right now. We'll see how that plays out. I'm enjoying doing it so far. Let's see if I can keep that enjoyment up. And let's see if I can keep your enjoyment up too. Hopefully I've kept it up this far. Hopefully I've gotten it up this far. And I guess I'll see you around. Thank you very much. Bye.